Hello friendos and randos, welcome back to another video. Today we're talking about one of the new OP04 leaders for the West, Blue Yellow Queen. Animal Kingdom Pirates type leader. Let's talk quickly about his effect. Dawn times 1 when attacking. If you have a total of 4 cards in your life and hand, you may draw a card. If you have an 8 cost character on your board, you may instead add the top card of your deck to your life instead of drawing a card. So this deck, if you've seen any Asian gameplay, of course, is a very long stall based deck. It focuses a lot on removing the early units as well as then playing large bodies to generate a lot of pressure, controlling board, and then after that winning through having more resources as well as more life than your opponent. So I wanted to talk through this deck profile by Nukesaku, which is the second place winning queen from the Hiroshima Championship that was near the start of OP04 in the East. Some of the key cards you can expect to find are number 1, a lot of blockers, number 2, a lot of triggers, and number 3, a lot of large bodies. So large here meaning over 8 cost in order to proc your leader effect. So first off, let's talk a little bit about the blockers. So for 1, you have the 1 cost blue Trafalgar Law. So this is of course a very cheap blocker that you can just place down for only 1 cost. You can place down an 8 cost unit, then you can play the Trafalgar Law, and you can still have 1 Dawn left over to use your leader ability. Next is the blocker Doflamingo. So this card is very good in this deck because you're able to set the top 5 cards of your deck, and then after that, using your leader ability, you can heal it to your life to set up triggers. So this works very well in conjunction with your leader effect. That being said, we also have a trigger blocker. Number 1, Boa Hancock, or you can also use the Charlotte Brule from the yellow starter deck instead. So Boa Hancock is of course a 3 cost 1k power trigger blocker with counter as well. So very good card to rig into your life with the effect of your leader as well as Doflamingo. And then second trigger blocker is the 4 cost Sanji, which is new in OP04. 4 cost 5000 power, discard 1 card in order to play this character. So discard 1 card is actually pretty good in Queen in order to keep your hand size and life total low enough in order to continuously use your leader effect as well. Lastly, this deck list from Nukesaku also uses the 4 cost Boa Hancock. So this is one way that you can use to replenish your hand after having it reduced in order to use your leader effect. So you can block and draw 1 card and then use that card to counter out as well. And that is it for the blockers. On top of that, we also are running Perona. So this is additional top deck rigging in order to make use of your leader effect as well. And again, because it's 1 cost only, you can use it and then maybe the 8 cost Katakuri and then use your leader effect with the last remaining Dawn left over. Next, we'll talk a little bit about the 2k counter choices. So here we have Kaya. Kaya will allow you to, number 1, reduce your hand size by drawing and discarding cards, as well as filtering cards that you don't need, because this deck does run a lot of no counter cards as well. So being able to filter those out is a good plus. Number 2 is Beige. It is one of the new OP04 cards, one of the best triggers in the game as well. It is able to prevent an attack entirely with just its trigger effect. And on top of that is also a 2k counter card, so very fantastic card. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the removal and the top end. So first off, we have Sogeking. Sogeking is a 7 cost 6k power with 1k counter, and its effect is number 1, return a 6 cost character to its owner's hand, and then number 2, draw 2 and discard 2 cards. So again, this allows you to filter your hand if you have too many no counter cards, as well as help you quickly dig to find your big bodies if you need them. Number 2, on tempo is also very good. On the 7 Dawn turn, you can return a 6 cost character back to your opponent's hand, so that is a lot of tempo on your turn as well. Of course, the stat line leaves a bit to be desired, but that is not too big of an issue as you do have a lot of other larger bodies to play after that as well. Next up, on the 8 cost line, we have 4 of the SEC Katakuri. The SEC Katakuri is really good in this deck as well. It hits the 8 cost threshold that you require for your leader effect to heal you instead of draw a card, and it removes up to an 8 cost unit as well, so it's very good removal and tempo on play. Not only that, you can also use it to heal your blockers back into your life, for example your Boas or your Sanjis back into your life in case you need to protect them from like a Fire Fist or a 5 cost Marco. Next up, we have the 9 cost Mihawk. 9 cost Mihawk, of course, also a very good card. Strong, big body, and removes a 7 cost on play. So very strong, good amount of tempo, can remove very important units such as the 7 cost Luffy in black as well as green. And also things like Thatch, Ace, etc. Lastly, of the big bodies, we have Yamato. Yamato is the new 9 cost SR from OP04. Yamato's effect is, on play, You may KO a character with cost equal to the life total of you and your opponent. So for example, if you are at 1 life and your opponent is at 4 life, you can KO a 5 cost character. And with Queen, most Queen gameplay, you do not actually attack your opponent at all, so you should be able to hit quite a large unit with this. And then its secondary effect is, if you have 1 life or less, you may actually heal 1 card. This is really good in conjunction with your leader effect as well. So for example, at 10 Dawn, you are able to heal 2 life using Yamato as well as your leader. Do note that in order to do this, you need to start with 3 cards in your hand and 1 card in your life. 3 cards in your hand including the Yamato, because once you play the Yamato down, you will heal 1, and then in the end your life total will be 2, and then your hand total will be 2 as well. If you were to start with 4 cards in hand and then 1 life, Yamato will put you at 2 life and you wouldn't be able to heal with your leader effect anymore. Lastly, we have 2 events for removal, and these events are Sanzen Sekai 3000 Worlds, removing a 5 cost to the bottom of your opponent's deck, as well as 6 cost for the new OP04 card, Red Rock, which returns any card on the board to the bottom of its owner's deck, so it hits everything from 1 to 10 costs. Very strong card as well. So Queen plays very control-oriented gameplay. You can see a lot of the gameplay where Queen is involved usually does end up being stalled to close to the timeout. And this is why some Asian players actually don't really like playing Queen that much, because of the fact that in Asia, in larger tournaments, if you do timeout, it results in a loss for both players. So it does mean that not as many players will be playing Queen instead. That being said, if you do enjoy that kind of playstyle and you enjoy making your opponent suffer, then go ahead and definitely try Queen out. I think if you enjoy the playstyle, it's something that definitely does have potential to be a very strong deck. Even in OP05 as well, there are some people still playing Queen. I think it does still have quite a bit of legs to it, and it does receive a bit of support in the new X-Drake card in OP05 as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, make sure to drop a like as well as subscribe. I will be putting out, of course, more OP04 deck lists soon, and I will see you guys again next time. Peace.